Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Bless the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shah. Alright, this is going to be, wow. Hey, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth. Alright, to wake up the remaining, hopefully late. As you see here on the screen, alright, this woman here, oh boy, Julianne Margulies. Also, Zebrahead himself, Michael Rappaport. I mean, they're the latest to come out and cry how no one's feeling sorry for them like they're used to. You know, they're used to experiencing these things, you know, this. But the thing is, in the age that we're in now, with technology the way it is, and the fact that, hey, even the scriptures say, you know, people are seeing through the bullshit. You know, that veil is lifted, Isaiah 25:7. These schemes that they're used to putting over on the people, it's not working. That witchcraft, that voodoo they used to do doesn't work so well for them anymore. You know, as Isaiah 47 chapter, all right. Obadiah, you know, no longer the wise men in Tema. You know, all this is it's a breakdown. It's beautiful to see. You know, we use scriptures like Sirach or Ecclesiastes 25:7, how that we're in a time that we've lived to see the downfall of our enemy. I don't want to butcher it. Let's see, Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that has joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So let's go ahead and roll this. This is the professor once again. Like I say, he gets right to it. Hey, I just filter everything through the scriptures, like I say. All right, so here we go.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth. You already know that Julianne Margulies is a racist. Now, this woman comes out of the world of entertainment, and that's significant because black people oversample when it comes to entertainment, and that includes the so-called news shows that the white media puts out. As offensive as her behavior was, I'm actually glad that she did it, because it's the kind of wake-up call that a lot of black folks need. Margulies is merely the latest example of how the white media manipulates the mind. We all know the old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. But those of you who have listened to me for any length of time know that I've told you that window goes both ways. When people look into your eyes, they can see what's going on in your mind. But when you open your eyes, you let things into your mind too if you're not careful. And a lot of us, most of us in fact, have not been careful at all. Paul Mooney said that people believe what they see, and he was right. This is because most people take in fully 85% of all their data through their eyes. Listening becomes a formality. Listening becomes a way to merely add some interesting details to what it is that they're seeing. But it's mostly a formality. You see something, someone tells you this is what it is, and most of us go along with it. We never actually...
That's also how the majority of everyone covets through what you see. All right, that's what he was talking about. You know, all this information, the good and the bad. All right.
Or interrogate it, or try to figure it out, or evaluate it for ourselves. So you can have these white supremacists, these anti-black racists like Julianne Margulies, get on TV, and she'll be on a TV show making nice with Eric LaSalle or whomever, and you start to think that she's your buddy when she's not. Just because she has a black castmate on her TV show, which they always do, there's always at least one token.
And again, how important imagery is. These devils all know they got these high-level psychiatrists / psychologists, all right, and at the end of the day, all it is high-level witchcraft. Jake gets so caught up, and that's why they're so into all these various forms of media, whether it be Hollywood, whether you got your internet, you got your different sites, you got TikTok now, you got all these other forms of social media, advertising, marketing, all these things that you're constantly buffeted with, all right? Oh my goodness. And you wonder why Jake is the way they are. They know this. They know this. All right? Again, these people are shook. Why isn't everybody on our side? Because they know you're foul. And all that history is coming out. See, you thought it was going to be easier. And that goes back all to what Jay Rockefeller said from West Virginia. He said the internet should never have been invented. They understood this. Hillary Clinton said, what was it, 2016? On the way, you know, during the presidential election run, or at least, damn it, from the primary, I can't remember what stage it was, when she and Trump were dialoguing, you know, debating. I can't pinpoint exactly when it was, but she made a comment for sure that they had lost the information war. What do you think she was talking about? See, you can't pull what you used to pull on the people anymore like that. Those old heads, yeah. But these kids coming out, you know, if anything positive to say about them, you know, the thing is, they see through the bullshit. And that worries you. It's not like you can put, you know, expression, put the genie back in the bottle or anything like that. It's over. Like I said, that veil has been lifted. All right, people are seeing you for the foul piece of shit that you really are. Remember, we're dealing with a lineage of evil here. Understand that. And that's biblical. We're talking about a lineage of evil here. Let's continue on.
A character who never disagrees with the white lead, might I add. That's merely done for marketing purposes. To become a top-rated TV show, you can't just do it with a white-only audience. You have to pull in the broadest possible demographics. And the casting of the show is meant to give the various different audiences out there someone on the screen who they can relate to personally, someone who's like them. They don't put black characters on the screen because they like you. They do it because it's good for business.
There you go.
Black people get confused about that, and worst of all, we put black children in front of these idiot boxes, and they're immediately indoctrinated. They watch white media cartoons that show them these fairy tale fantasies of a colorblind world.
There you go.
Always with a white character in charge.
Black
characters who just agree with whatever the white lead says.
Yes, about.
As subtle conditioning begins to take hold, the children will begin to rationalize it and make excuses for it for the rest of their lives. Get to the young, fill their heads with lies early, and they'll be confused for life.
There you go. And that, now you know, since he said that, why they're having these things in your schools, reading to your children, because they under. Woo-wee. Oh, I'm glad that Jake, I can't give you a number, even a percentage, it's catching on, because I've noticed the last several years, especially lately, whatever topics you happen to be reviewing, and you look at the comment sections, something that's you think is totally unrelated, and you're starting to see more and more scriptures. And it's the scriptures that we normally bring out. All right, so it's a beautiful thing. It really is. We're seeing, and this so-called white man is trembling. All right, it says Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and this is why they're targeting the children. Hollyweird, you know, now they're in the schools telling you how, you know, your politicians. This place is on its way out. All right, they're desperate. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right. Continuing on.
Get to the young, fill their heads with lies early, and they'll be confused for life. We see this in the black community every minute of every day, but this is because we've allowed it to happen. A careless black parent is the white media's greatest asset. Juliana Margulies, with all of the condescension that she could muster, said that black people needed to watch a particular Ken Burns documentary about Hitler and how he learned
Fuck
so
Hitler.
much of his
Fuck
fascism
you.
from the South. I have my own issues with Ken Burns and his work.
Another thing, more and more people are tired of this shit too. All right. And this is not just Jake. You have a lot of what appear to be Edomites. Like, you know what? Those people over there, they're frauds. See, they've gone too far. All right. The international community, for what it's worth, Turkey is like, you know what? And they're not even Ishmael, but they are converts to Islam. All right. But they're tired of this shit. And then you have a whole host of nations, because they see the game. Well, they have seen the game for what it is for quite a while. And they're just to the point now, you know what? You're slaughtering, I think the number is 16,000 now. And that's not counting the people that are trapped, if they're still alive, or the ones, because they're trapped, that they hadn't, that are dead and haven't been discovered and counted yet. So we don't know the true numbers yet. All right. And everybody's on to the scheme that they're running here, trying to get those people off the land. All right. Making the excuses that, well, Hamas is hiding in the hospitals, they're hiding amongst the people, so therefore we have, anything to kill these people and have an excuse to do it. And people are like, you know what? No, that's bullshit. See, they're running into this thing being truly dangerous for them. Don't take for face value. You see all these so-called Jews protesting Israel. They know, all right, that it's very bad for them, or it can be. It's not because they particularly care about the Palestinians. They know that this has gone too far, and they could be targets wherever they go, wherever they are. That's what they're worried about, and rightfully so. All right. So, again, the thief is being found out. The thief, the murderer, the wicked has been found out. Continuing on.
When people call someone America's documentarian, that to me is 3 red flags. His job is to whitewash this country's history, to make it bland and sanitary.
Yep.
Because ultimately, Ken Burns' job is to affirm American history,
Yep.
not to teach it. But there's something else to consider. Ken Burns likes to hang out with the likes of Clarence Thomas and Thomas's associate, the billionaire right-wing ideologue Harlan Crow. Yeah, these guys hang out together. And you see how big Ken Burns is smiling? Uh-huh. He's not as liberal as you think. People like Juliana Margulies hate black people. As she herself put it, blacks are lower than her because they're black. And racists in the white media like Margulies are responsible for the degenerate imagery that gets pushed on us. As an example, rap music. Even gangster rap, when it first started, they didn't have all these images of women wearing next to nothing, shaking their butts full time.
Nope.
Look at even NWA's videos back in the day. Yeah, they had women in them, but the women were all wearing their clothes. I'm not just talking about anything except for a sports bra. They weren't alone, by the way. All the rappers were showing women like that in a way that was actually dignified, because they didn't want to put out images that would condition these young women to think that they should be running around half naked. They weren't trying to teach degeneracy through their images. Because when you do that, that's subliminal prostitution.
Yep. See, I'll give them that. All right. But see, they know Jake is thirsty, hungry. All right. And that was the plan, to keep them that way. That way they're more easily manipulated. Going into what he's talking about. We've said that for the last 30 years. Everybody's been talking about that. But it's one thing to say it and even know it, But that goes to our people not being on code like everybody else. So Jake is everyone out for himself. Again, they know this. That's why it's so easy, or it's a lot easier to manipulate our people than for others. All right? And again, they know these things because they're the ones that were conditioning our people.
About the only person who did dare to cross that line at least once was Ice-T with his Power album cover, but that was a one-off. And then came the Two Live Crew. Luther Campbell was responsible for that. As you should know, Luther Campbell is not a foundational black American. His family comes from the Caribbean. That kind of hyper-sexualized culture that is normal there was exported to the U.S. And Luther Campbell was the one who opened the floodgates and started the avalanche of flash and trash that would inundate all the music videos that came out of black music. But he could never have done it without the open and aggressive support of the white media. They pushed that kind of imagery because that's what they wanted out there. American culture has become pornified, and it's been this way for
all
a
for
couple of generations
filthy
now.
lucre.
People take their cues from what they see in the white media. Why do you think they pay so much to get the best cinematographers? They make sure they come up with the best camera angles. They pay so much for these costume designers and set designers. They put a lot of money and a lot of effort into making sure that they craft something that will be as attractive and influential as possible. Look at how the young people dress and how they talk. They copy what they see on TV shows, music videos, and movies. Now, of course, if you ask these young people about this, they'll deny it, but we all know that you can just look at them and you can guess what TV show, movie, or music video is their favorite one just by how they dress and how they talk. What does this constant torrent of lies about race and about sexuality and about our place in society do to the mentality of the people when images of debauchery and immorality and phony friendships are pumped into the minds of the people night and day? What it does is it conditions them to go along with their own oppression. When the value system becomes about conspicuous consumption, buying cars so you can style and profile for the rest of the broke folks in the hood,
Yep.
that is a people who will never be free.
Yep.
We're seeing a cycle of depravity playing itself out, and it starts with the children. We can break the cycle if we focus on getting them away from the white media and getting them immersed in the black media. Politically, that will require us to start putting our hands on the levers of control. Instead of having arguments with black shills put in front of us by the major parties, at some point we will have to cultivate and push our own candidates. People who...
Gotta stop them right there because, no sir, what they need is what we're telling them they need. Come back. Come back to who they actually are. Alright? And that is Israelites, not black, not Jamaican, not Panamanian, none of these names that our oppressors have put on us, but what he's tried to keep us from being all along, which is who we really are. They stole our identity and walk around here, have fooled, like the scriptures say, deceive the whole world. All right? No, all this, black that, African, American, all that bullshit. That's something else that contributes to it. But, you know, only the ones that are meant to get it are going to get it at the end of the day. All right? We're doing what we're commanded to do, according to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. All right? To get that blood off our hands. We're telling you these things. All right? We're telling you who your enemy is and always has been. We're telling you how he's manipulated us for oh so many years. Why he stands up in our place, trying to be us, hoping to sway prophecy in his favor. And it's never going to happen. But it's beautiful when through the Holy Spirit your eyes are open. All right, And this requires prayer. All right, you have to pray for these things. You can't just, hold on, let me get it real quick. Let's see here. All right. This is James 1:5. All right. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. The power of prayer, can't stress enough. All right. 6, but let him ask in faith. And this is something that a lot of Jakes do not have. Again, something that this society has conditioned you. Because a lot of Jakes are just carnal as hell. Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. In faith, not wavering. All right? Continuing on.
And push our own candidates, people who we choose, who we can trust. And the same goes for these TV shows and movies. At some point, the black grassroots will have to cultivate and promote our own programming, material that edifies and honors us. We have to get back into the business of laying foundations again. It won't be quick and easy, and there will be setbacks because black people have acquired a taste for junk media. But if we're going to turn the situation around, we have to accept that. And we won't necessarily be embraced with open arms by all black people. But then again, as the black media, we weren't embraced when we began this work 15 years ago either. We were mocked and ridiculed. People hadn't been talking the way that we do since the days of Malcolm. Up until that point, we had a bunch of dusty dudes, hood rats, imitation master teachers, and the Kundalini con men attacking us. And this went on for years. But in time, as we continued to do the work, and as white supremacy stepped up its attacks against black people, folks started to lose their ability to indulge those other worthless Negroes out there, and they gravitated towards us. See, when the conversation turned serious, they knew who they needed to listen to. The only way to have media that we can trust is if we make it. Everyone else gets rich off of monetizing black culture. To reverse this trend, we're going to have to take control of our images and control what we see. We used to do that, but then we got into the bad habit of selling what we have. Every time a black person builds something, they immediately go and sell it. Your company, your business represents your piece of the world. If you sell it, you have sold your piece of the world. White society, Asian society.
How many times have we told you, pointed out the fact that integration was the worst thing? The worst thing we could have done and did. Integration. Again, being manipulated. Jake wanted that easy life, not thinking of a legacy of any type as far as for his family, his children. And look where we're at now. Everybody comes, as Psalms 83, but everybody comes and sets up shop in the hood. In the meantime, there's nothing coming back to us. What is it, a rule of 72? Something like that. It's been a while. Our money doesn't come back to us or circulate so many times until it leaves. We're at a big fat goose egg while everybody else got something going on as far as it. And you're so quick. See, that's how you know it's a curse. Can't get around it, people. That's curse. Continuing on.
Hispanic society, they understand that. But for some strange reason, a lot of black folks are in denial about it. We keep confusing the golden eggs with the goose that laid them. The golden eggs are not the real prize. The real prize is the goose. People get conceited. Most people only have one good idea in their entire lifetimes. One idea that actually has the potential to catch fire. And to try to reproduce that almost never works. But people get full of themselves and they think that because they did something that worked one time, then they can do it again on command, and most of the time they can't. They try, but nothing else they do catches on like whatever their original good idea was. We sell our fashion labels, we sell our shoe companies, our cosmetics companies, and then we sit here and wonder why we have so many sellouts all around us. We can't have a voice in the media if we sell whatever media ventures we generate. So black people will have to stop having a I want to retire early mentality. Normally, companies are held onto until the father passes them on to his sons and they run it. You can't decide to sell a company for money and then you'll let your money make money for you full time. That's what we keep trying to do. You're not going to be able to sit back and lounge on the beach every day either, and you shouldn't want to. We live in this world. We should want to be a part of it and to influence it. See, the Harlan Crows of this world, they don't try to drop out of society or find a way to escape.
Again, something that he's not aware of. All right, this is our oppressors, our enemy's kingdom. All right, 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter goes into that, about him being, well, let's get into it real quick like. All right, he's being allowed to do the things that he is doing. All right, let's start at 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, as he is the son of perdition. All right, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is. Trust in our science. Oh, we have AI now. Look toward the future. We're going to start C-hipping everybody. Neuralink. All these things. This is walked up the steps, on your porch, at your door, knocking. All right. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. All right. So we're at the point in these devils can sense that their time is up. All right. So they're in panicking mode. Nobody's buying our bullshit anymore. What the fuck? But trust me, they got something. They got something for that.
Way to escape being in the world, or to retire full time. These old racists, they're very old, very bigoted, and very determined to reshape society to fit their vile, sick worldview.
That's what's going on.
You heard about a so-called documentary about Clarence Thomas, in which he claimed that he likes to go to RV parks, and he prefers the parking lots of the Walmart to the beach, a pathetic attempt on his part to try to portray himself as some sort of everyman, and not the boot-licking sellout that he actually is. First of all, that documentary was a lie, like everything else Clarence Thomas says. He spends his time hanging out at fancy high-priced resorts with his pal, Harlan Crow. The only time he would go to Walmart is to buy a new knee pad so he can be ready for his next outing with his racist buddies. But Harlan Crow paid for that phony documentary. It's pure propaganda.
Yep.
Blatantly so, but that doesn't change the fact that the white media still help to signal boost it. And this is the so-called liberal media who is spreading the word about it. Ken Burns isn't the only person who's willing to let you believe that he's some sort of left-leaning personality just so he can sucker you into lowering your guard. When it comes to the white media, the similarities between them and the Harlan Crows of the world far outweigh any alleged differences. This is who makes the media that you watch, from the entertainment to the music videos to the so-called news, which includes these documentaries. The enemy has their propaganda down to a science. That's to be expected when their history is nothing but fiction. What we have to do is to sharpen our skills and focus our efforts on developing and augmenting our own media infrastructures. Infrastructures plural. This is why I make it a point to remind you that the information and analysis that you get here is second to none. You need to be reminded daily that we are definitely good enough to do all these things for ourselves. In fact, we can excel if that's what we focus our energy to.
See, the thing is, no, you should not be focused on those things. You need to be focused on these precepts, all right? This is that grace period that has been afforded our people to get yourself right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right? Not going into, because you're still in this devil's, you know, he controls all of this. This is about as ridiculous as a so-called black dollar. What the fuck? A lot of our people, like I said, you know, the light's on, but nobody's home, and someone doesn't have both oars in the water. All right, and when that happens, you end up going in a circle. So, wow, we just need to get the hell up out of here. That's the thing. That's what should be the focus. How? Through these scriptures, understanding the prophecies. All right, these dark sayings, these, you know, and focus on that. This world is, hey, 2 Peter 3, as a matter of fact, well, say it, we're going to get it. This is 2 Peter 3, and let's see. And what do we have here? The day of the Lord will come. It will come. Not that it might. No, this is a guarantee. This is the mindset you should be in. 2 Peter 3 and 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. In fact, let's start at 10. Let's see. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. This is why we're telling you to prepare now. How do you prepare? All right. Isaiah 33 and 6. Get all this, what we're trying to relay to you, all right, with these scriptures in your brain housing group, as we used to say. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So all these physical possessions that get caught up in, and like he said, Jake, you know, gets that money and they want to style a profile in front of Jake that don't have nothing. Well, why do you think they end up on the news? All right, not in a good way. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. That's why the saying goes, if you get out the hood, don't ever come back. In all the cases that I've heard where Jake has come back after their parents have taken them away, it doesn't end well. It hasn't ended well, I'll say, put it that way. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Looking for, again, the mindset, looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Who wants to stay here in this shithole? I sure as hell don't. Again, we're underneath the rule of the wicked. A little bit more.
If that's what we focus our energy towards, I want to help you to build your confidence in the black media, because that builds your confidence in yourself. It also helps to encourage you not to expect less from anyone who wants you to give them your time and attention. Black media must be excellent media. You deserve no less. You also deserve to unplug yourself from the white media's matrix and to free your children's minds. Talk to your kids about the things the white media tries to push on them when they think you're not looking. Explain to your children what it really means. Your children are extremely impressionable, so you have to give them a daily deprogramming from the white media brainwashing. And you also need to safeguard their minds and yours. As human beings, we're creatures of habit. The things we do 90% of the time, we're not even thinking about it. We do it because either someone got us into the habit of doing it, or because we picked up the habit for ourselves. But we rarely stop to actually think about what it is that we do. We become functional zombies. That's why so many of us don't or can't stop watching what is clearly anti-black propaganda. It's your eyeballs that the white media is fighting to control. Look at how terrified they are just because you stopped mindlessly voting. You got them shook with that one simple act. Your eyes are on your power, not on their political theater where they have idiotic politicians arguing back and forth about nothing. You stopped watching that. They're scared. Do the same thing with the entertainment that you watch. Deprive them of your eyeballs too. Because without you, they wouldn't be able to keep those shows going. That's what Juliana Margulies understands. And you need to understand that too. The people who make the stuff you watch hate you. If you think that you deserve better, then at some point...
That's what we've been trying to tell you.
Turn off their lies and tell them the show is over. Good day, and be one.
That's what Great Millstone and others that are affiliated with Great Millstone have been telling you for years. These are the people that hate us, that put all this garbage out for the young amongst us to, and this is generational, all right? The house of the thief, that's what we're in, the house of the thief. All right, these people are shook also because, like I said, they know their time is short. These things, this witchery is not working the way it used to. In the house of the thief. Interesting. That's Zechariah 5th chapter. But you're talking about an individual that, let's make a distinction here. This is Proverbs 6. And let's see, around 30. Okay. It says, men do not despise a thief, if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. All right, cool. But what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with something totally different. We're dealing with the wicked. All right, we're dealing with a very covetous individual. He doesn't do it because, like it says here, he's hungry. No. Let's go to Sirach 10. Let's see, where will I start? We know that, well, let's start at Let's start at 7. Pride, because there's no one more prideful than Esau, Edom. I just read 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, and it told you that he thinks he's on a level of the Most High. It says, pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. Again, who are we talking about? The so-called white man, the Edomite. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. 9, here's my point. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul for sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. And 10 is what we're waiting for. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. He is a disease in the earth. All this that's going on, this is him. America is alone in its 247th year, what's remaining of this year, as far as it being a legitimate nation. I'm talking about 1776. There's only been 20-something years of peace. Other than that, they've been involved in proxy wars or war wars. What does that say? Wow. Just wow. So let's go into that covetous. This is Edom Online. Mid-13th century, inordinately desirous to obtain and possess. This is him. Avaricious. Alright. Eagerness. It gives you cupidus and all that, The desire of possessing more than we have of any good thing whatsoever, which we already have enough for our uses. But that's not good enough. Adding houses to house, adding house to house and field to field. Reminds you of Micah 2nd chapter, right? It is much connected with pride, but more with restlessness of mind and desire of novelty, much seen in children who tire of their toys and want new ones. God! So this devil, hey, Job 30, hey, a big fucking kid, man. The pleasure in having things for one's very own. You got one family of the elites that can stop all of this. This is just one out of many. But they get their kicks, they get their rocks off from seeing people suffer. Hey, James 2 and 13. I'm going to end it with this. I promise. This is James 2 and 13. Like I say, that fine print gets you every time. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have shewed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So you remember this. All this wickedness that you've caused in the earth. All right. Remember, I didn't get to get it, but the next verse in that Proverbs there, in 31, remember, Genesis 4th chapter, when it came to Cain, the curse that was put upon him, and it said, for whoever, well, would take vengeance on Cain will be punished what? Sevenfold, right? Let's see, 14, 15. And the Most High said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Most High set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. But let me finish Proverbs 6 and 30. Let's go to 31. It says about the thief. It says, let me read 30 again. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. What's ultimately going to happen to these Edomites? That whole nation of theirs. They're going to be run through, right? All this is going to be for nothing. And remember, when you think of Isaiah 60, all right, with everybody bringing us their substance. Think about that, all right? So, hey, once again, talking about these devils here, this hole here, and those of her kind, they're so flustered with, why aren't the blacks, and he gets another question, why are they so concerned with, we're supposedly nobodies, why do you have to be validated by us? Why? It's something Elder Apostle Tahar said years ago, and it's that when you notice, Edom always seeks Jake's approval. Hey, so with that, once again, I hope you were edified with this video, as we always at Great Millstone seek to do, filter everything through the scriptures. And hey, like I said earlier in this video, continue to pray. Prayer is important. I use James 1 and 5. All right. If you lack wisdom, hey, pray. All right. When it comes to these scriptures, you pray for the understanding. All right. Prayer is very important. Pray for your brethren out here on the highways and byways, your family. All right. Because we're heading into more dangerous times. People are losing it out here. Keep your head on a swivel. All right, so with that, shalom.